all getting ready in our rooms for the executive gala. Who was at the exec gala last year? It was amazing. And at the exec gala, the elite executives were being presented with our elite executive ring, which is also amazing, and this should be on everyone's vision board. But instead of being excited and just looking forward to what the evening had to offer, I was in my room, bawling my eyes out, because all I could think about was that I looked fat in my dress. And my roommates had to seriously push me out of the room and say all kinds of encouraging things to me to convince me that that's not what people were going to be focused on. So I'm starting out telling you that story because I want you guys to take a minute and think about what this Jamboree journey has looked like for you in the past and what you want Jamboree to look like for you going forward. So please answer my question. Has anyone in this room had a month since you joined Jamboree where you were not paid at your highest achieved rank? Now look around. Look around you, okay? Now, we're getting that out of the way. This happens, okay? This happens. There is no shame in it. And we walk around with it as if this is this huge weight on our shoulders. And we're so embarrassed that somebody's going to find out that we didn't have our rank that month or we didn't maintain our title. So what I want to do is talk through what do we do? What do we do when we aren't maintaining our rank or when we've lost our title and we're working to get back to that title and continue to advance through the Jamboree ranks. So, my fears and insecurities about what I was not were actually stealing my ability to celebrate what I was. And my focus on what I had been, skinny, young, able to pick up and run a 5K anytime I wanted to, were actually holding me back from embracing where I could go in the future. So I feel like there's a lot of us here that get really, really focused on what Jamboree has been for us, that paycheck that we used to have, this team that we used to have, the team page that we had, whatever that was, what something looked like for us in the past, and that is a trap, okay? And so we're going to talk about how to get yourself out of that trap. So first, I want to tell you there's no finish line with Jamboree. That's really the title of this presentation. So I've used the example that a lot of you guys have used, and I'm going to stop using this example right now, which is that Jamboree is a marathon. And the point of that example is to tell people, look, nobody gets all the way to the end really, really quickly. There's going to be bumps in the road, there's going to be highs and lows, you're going to get tired, and then there's going to be times when you really sprint. And while that's true, there is no finish line. I made the mistake of thinking that once I promoted to elite executive, that meant I totally made it. I'm just going to tread water right here, and my team's just going to grow and grow and grow. And I'm not saying that I stopped working when I promoted to elite. Every single rank, when I advanced, created more work for me to do than the rank that I had before. So it's not that I stopped working, but I really thought that was it. I was going to be able to maintain that rank. My team was just going to keep growing and thriving. And that's not business. This is not an issue with Jamboree. This is an issue of our misunderstanding of how business works and what entrepreneurship looks like. So, I have a secret for you guys. Your situation is not special. Your situation is not unique. And what happens is we trick ourselves into thinking that we're the only ones dealing with this struggle, and we cut ourselves off from our absolute best resources, which are who? Each other. Okay? Almost everyone in this room raised their hands when I asked this question. Your best resource with how to move your business forward, and if you feel like you're in a funk, your best resources are in this room. Whatever you are struggling with, whether it's personal things in your personal life that are affecting your Jamboree business, maybe your husband isn't supportive of your business, maybe you're homeschooling your kids and you're having a struggle juggling all those things. For me, having my kids home for the summer is always a challenge with balancing that with business. There are at least 5 other women in this room that can relate to any story that you tell me about why you're struggling in your Jamboree business. The next thing is, we all fail at things. We just do. And we have to quit being so afraid of anybody finding out that there are things that we don't do well. We all see ourselves as lacking, and we actually don't sit around and point fingers at one another saying, oh, my sponsor didn't do this for me. My sponsor's bad at that. My sponsor's right there, and she's amazing. We're so worried about ourselves and what we're lacking, but somehow we think everybody else has the time to be judging us all the time, right? And that creates even more fear and insecurity for us, and so we struggle to reach out and use the resources that we have in this room. The next thing is we all have gifts and we all have weaknesses. So we need to be willing to share those gifts, which we are, but also recognize and own that we do have weaknesses, and that's okay. So own your weaknesses and ask those around you who are gifted in those areas to fill those gaps for you and offer your strengths to their team as well. We have to, instead of being worried that our teams aren't going to see us as good leaders, which I'm extremely guilty of, we need to actually recognize that when they see us as real, relatable people who are working our businesses just the same way that they are, then and that we're asking for help, and that we're reaching out, and that we don't have all of the answers every time, when we communicate that to them, they can actually see themselves in our shoes. And we all know, hopefully, that the most important rank on our team is lead consultant, right? Those lead consultants, that's your next team manager. That's your next executive. That's your future elite executive. If they don't think that they can do what you do because they think that you have all the answers, or you work 100 hours a week, then they're never going to think that this is something that they can actually honestly do, and they're not going to take it seriously and pursue it as a real business. We're going to make mistakes, so we need to not only go easy on one another, but go easy on ourselves. Sometimes you're going to have to apologize to your team. Sometimes you're going to have to apologize to a consultant. Be willing to